So welcome to this space. Today is the 30th of June 2021 and we are in the last week of our Gemini lunation, our lunation in the sign of Gemini, before we go to the next new moon in Cancer. So welcome to this space, and I hope the reflections in this space can bring you some tips on how to open your perception and resignify how the way you're living, the experiences you're having, in the hope that you will be each day coming nearer to a healthier and more conscious life. This is my intent. I try to bring topics that are important to all of us, everyday life things, and how they may impact on our health, and how we can learn how to live more consciously and therefore promote a healthier way of living. So this space started due to the fact that I'm a physician, but I also include the information about the astrological chart every time I see a new patient. And I was thinking today what astrology has given me, what astrology has taught me. And I remember the first day that I started the 4-year astrology course, and our teacher told us astrology is not a new discipline, like you're not coming here to learn one more practice or one more discipline. You are here to learn a new way of looking at life, a new way of perceiving life, a new way of perceiving who you are, of perceiving your experiences, the people you know. It's a new way to understand life in general, and it will teach you to see the connections, those invisible connections between all beings. And at that moment I was a little bit surprised to hear this. It was not what I was thinking that astrology was, or that I was starting this 4-year course for this, but I said, okay, maybe it is something interesting. Let's see how it goes. And today, about 9 years later, after I ended those 4-year courses, so I've been walking in life with astrology guiding me for the past 12 years now. And 12 years later, I can definitely say that it is astrology what helped me to see life in a different way. But most importantly, it helped me to perceive my profession in a different way. So I was able to see and continue learning about, to see the interconnectedness of mind, body and spirit, because of that holistic lens that astrology taught me. So I can definitely say that 4 years course in astrology has opened my eyes and trained me to see the invisible connections that connect us all. And in that way, it allows me to see my patients that come to consult me and see their reality and their issues, and how the way of living might be interfering in their life's purpose or in their life's paths, and try to guide them, try to bring this information to them and guide them to a type of life that is more resonant with who they are and what they're here for. So this is what astrology taught me. So I'm still very committed in my personal life and in my professional life to use the lenses of the astrological chart and try to give a further meaning, a deeper meaning, a meaning beyond of what is visible to experiences in life, and help others to do the same. So for those that are joining just now, this is welcome to this Conscious Life podcast and to this Astrology and Health season. I'm Dr. Laura Nasi. I'm an integrative oncologist and an astrologer. And today we will close our lunation cycle of 4 weeks. We've been talking about Gemini. And Gemini, we have said, is the sign of the Gemini are represented by the twins. So it's a sign that talks us about our two sides, our twin inside us, that part of us that we might be hiding or not showing so much. But also it talks us about relationships with our pairs, like our brothers and sisters, our siblings, or the childhood friends, or those in life who stand in pairs to us or in parallel to us. And also Gemini is the sign that talk to us about our mental processes, our thinking, our beliefs, and the way we communicate. So we've been doing double clicking some of these issues in the past 3 weeks, and today I would like to focus on what Gemini tells us about relationships. So once I heard that if we look at the chart and we see that there's 3 houses in the charts that talk to us about our relationships, and the first is the third house, which is the house of Gemini, and it talks about relations with pairs. The next space in the chart that talks to us about relationships, it's the 7th house, and the 7th house talks to us about our partners as our couples, but also as our business partners. And then the 11th house tell us about or give information about our relationship to us in our groups of where we share the same values, the same interests, to groups where we feel we belong. So it's 3 levels of relationships. And what they explained to me at that time is that it's like if you go to school, so the first lesson is the one we learn in the relationships with our brothers, with our pairs. And according to how we learned how to relate at that moment, then that's the way we're going to use us as the basis on how we relate to others, to our couple, to our partners, and then that will reflect on how we relate to others in big groups. So basically, the relationship with our pairs, with our siblings, with our neighbors, with our childhood friends, gives us key information about how we relate, because that would be the basis on how we build all other relationships on top. So this for me was very I thought I would explore this further, especially because I have quite a few planets in the 3rd house, and I said, okay, maybe there's something I need to explore further. So today I would like to talk about that, the 3rd house, which is a house of Gemini, or it's a house that is related to the sign of Gemini. Each of the signs has a relationship to one. Each of the 12 signs is related to one of the 12 houses. And the 3rd house is related to the sign of Gemini. So today I would like to propose that we reflect upon our relationships with our brothers and sisters and how that way of relating might have affected or might be affecting the way I relate to my partners, my personal partner or my business partners, or other people, in how I relate in groups. So what Gemini invites us is to explore precisely how we have developed that way of relating to someone who is like the twins, who is parallel to me, parallel in the sense that he or she is not on top of me, or I am not on top of him or her. So it's really a parallel relationship. And it might be that you were born first in the row of 3 or 4 siblings, and in some cultures that means that you may be assigned different tasks, but also that you will have more responsibilities or different responsibilities than the siblings that come after you. So it's very cultural in the way that siblings are treated. In some cultures, siblings are treated more similarly, and in other cultures there's a special place given to the first one, the last one, and then the ones in the middle kind of stay in the middle. So it's a good exercise to reflect, first of all, if I do have siblings, what number of sibling I am, and if so, what might have, how this location in the row of siblings might have affected me. Are there some responsibilities that I take in automatic because I was always given more responsibility because I was the elder brother or sister? Or was I the last one? I was always more consented, and I was always more pampered, and I was always excused of some responsibilities because I was the smaller or the youngest. So, or am I in the middle, and then it was difficult to attract more attention from my parents, and did I develop some way of behaving in order to attract that attention? So the location in the row of siblings in your family might give you some clues on how you started your relationship way then, and how that might be influencing you today on how you relate to other people. The next issue to reflect upon is how were the relationships between you and your siblings? Was it more of a competitive type of relationships? Was it more of a cooperative type of relationships? And how that might be influencing you nowadays. And for those of you who do not have siblings, or do not have biological siblings, how did you find your own siblings? We say that friends are siblings that we choose in life. So how did you get along looking for pairs, for people who you would treat as siblings, with whom you have confidence, and you would develop your relational skills, and how that affected you further? Was it difficult? Was it easy for you? Do you always approach someone in a certain way in order to be accepted? How did that influence? How did that influence you, and how is it influencing you today? So all these issues on how we related to our siblings might be affecting us nowadays, and also the ones that are like our twin brothers and sisters. we might think of the ones of our childhood friends, because we were all on the same level at school, and so we were all at the same learning curve and at the same facing the same obstacles and learning the same skills. So again, how did I relate to my childhood friends? Do I keep childhood friends to today's date? And what place they play in my life today? And then if you want to go further, to explore how the way you relate to your siblings or to your childhood friends is affecting you today, or has affected you the way you approach your partners. So if you were, let's say you were the youngest of 4 or 5 kids, and you were always pampered and always getting whatever you wanted, and you were relieved from some responsibilities because you were the youngest one, and the eldest ones would take over all the responsibilities. So how did that affect you in the way you stood up in front of someone you wanted to start dating? Did you play the little pampered girl? Are you always expecting the other one to satisfy your needs? Or do you really stand up as a pair, as a partner, as someone who's similar, as someone who we're joining together at the same level in order to share some part of our lives, some stretch in our paths? So it's interesting to start reflecting upon those issues. And this is what Gemini invites us to do. I had a very interesting experience once. I went to a week retreat in some place in the country of Uruguay. Uruguay is a neighbor country to Argentina. And there's this place where they say it has a very special energy, because there's the soil, the ground is made of these rocks, which give the place a special energy in the atmosphere. So I went there, and the retreat, we had many activities during the day, but the focus of this retreat was to live very consciously. Whatever you were doing, or whatever you were experiencing, to try to get the information beyond what was going on. So for example, I was assigned to go and clean the vegetable garden of all the weeds, and it was very interesting to start thinking about the weeds that I'm taking from the vegetable garden and associating them to, how I need to take some weeds out of my mind's garden, some thoughts that are not healthy, that are not helping me. So the whole week was focused on living very consciously and being attentive to the meaning that everything was giving, that life was bringing to you in every minute, according to the job you were assigned, or the people you met, or with whom you shared your room. And the one rule that we had for that week is that every time we met someone, or every time we had to talk to someone, we had to address the other as brother or sister. So sister Maria, or sister Anna, or brother Fernando. So however we were to call them, we would add the word brother or sister before then. And this was very interesting for me. First of all, it was difficult. It was difficult to name everybody as brothers and sisters, people that I didn't even know, that I was addressing for the same time, and reflecting on the fact that we are all brothers and sisters in this life, and that we're all walking similar paths. And the fact to address that the other one was as important, as in the same level, this was a big experience for me. So I understand that it may not be for everybody. You may have different energies in your third house, and it might be very easy for you to relate in a similar way to others. For me, it was something I had to learn. And if you look at my chart, I do have Saturn in the third house, so it means that communication and seeing others as pairs is one of the things that I am here to learn. So I've been learning, and I'm sure I have more to learn in the future as well. But I wanted to share this with you. So I know in some cultures you're already used to calling everybody brother and sister. But the fact that to say it aloud and really address to the other one, hey brother, what's your name? It was very different in my culture. I know for some this must seem like something you do and it's automatic, and especially I understand that African Americans are more of saying, and I love when I hear them calling each other brother and sister, even they are not blood related. So I challenge you to experience that, to try to experience that for some time, and addressing everybody as your brother or your sister, and see how it feels for you. See what sensations, what thoughts it brings to you, and how it makes you stand up in front of others. For me, it was a very, very, very rich experience. So that's also Gemini, thinking about our pairs, our brothers and sisters, and understand that we're all part of this big community, and that we're all together, growing together, and experiencing life together, and learning and falling and standing up again, all together. So this also gives us a more compassionate way of looking at ourselves and at others, and also more tolerant way of tolerating others that think or act or behave in a way that it's different from what we're used to. So I hope this brings some thoughts for you to take home and reflect upon. And if you do have some experience with this addressing everybody as your brother and sister, I'm happy to hear from you. You can write some comments to this podcast, and I will be happy to hear about your experience. So if you think this meetings every Wednesday and talking about astrology and health might be of benefit to you, might be interesting, thanks for letting me know by putting likes, by commenting, by sharing with friends or family who might be interested also in these type of topics. So with this, I wish you a happy day. I wish you some inner connection to your inner twin, and some insight to help you move forward in your life in a more conscious and happier way. Thank you for listening, and we'll see each other next week.